Hello, welcome back to Actual Play Court of Blades.
Ching,
Um,
ching, ching, ching.
yes, and we left off with the ex-Knack, the previous Knack, the once known as a Knack, now known as Tar Pudding. Knack being devoured by his creations, and the Prince of Tatters and Moon backing into a bolt hole. Meanwhile, Cor and Lenore and Claudia Bizzolato in a gondolier chase / boat skirmish. So yeah,
It is a boat skirmish of legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a very like Wonder Woman moment where like Cora's like upside down in that flip, her legs kind of kicked out, and then she lands on the boat, and like just the landing rocks it enough that like two of the guys fall off just because she lands on one side, and and they're not ready for it. So it's
just as one foot lands like on the bolt of one's crossbow and like pins it down and like drives it into their own gondola off kilter and like dumps two into the water, and then it's just steel, right? Just a skirl of steel. You manage to drive back these toughs, these agents. And as you do so, I'm actually gonna your extra effect here is you're gonna catch a glimpse of Maurizi colors.
Ooh, Maurizi.
Underneath their black jacks. So Maurizi clearly has ties to whatever is going down, trying to take out Claudia Bizzolato to ensure that she cannot catch Antonius Corvetto as she meant to. So some skullduggery that you managed to get there as you are looking super cool.
Yeah.
All right. So as that's going on, Giuseppe has pulled this bootlegger's turn that allowed this thing, just drives the pole down into the canal and kind of like whips it around to come and catch you again, so that you guys can keep on. But as he does so, there's this big barge that is pulling out into the kind of cross section of these four canals. It's a crossroads, right? And this big barge, this is going up toward the foreign quarter, laden down with goods. Giuseppe looks up at you and he's like, I think I know a shortcut, but it's dangerous. Otherwise, we can try and shoot this gap. But he like, as he's looking at you, like he's got like this kind of daredevil, like we can probably make that gap. Do you let him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lenore just like gives him a nod and a little smile because he's so enthusiastic, and Lenore isn't, so she gives him this like really small smile.
Claudia looks at you and she's like, "You're not really going to," and Giuseppe's already like, "Yes." So that means you get to make his fortune roll for me.
Yes.
You get to roll 2 dice, and we'll see if Giuseppe like bashes into this barge, and you have to seek alternate transit.
Oh my! Is there a place where I can just do a fortune roll? I thought there was.
Yes, right above your friends.
Under friends, right?
Under friends.
Thank you. Okay, I knew it was here in this fancy character sheet. 2?
2 dice. Giuseppe, for his young 19, is a
Can there we go. Hey,
Okay.
4 is
Good news.
4. That's all we're gonna focus on.
Right. So you guys are, moving pretty quick here down this canal, and like you're kind of sloshing side to side in the wake of this big, like it's easily 2 stories tall from where you are. This 20-foot tall like cargo trawler that is like moving down one of these major canals. I think that you guys are shooting this gap right out in front of the prow of this thing, and there's this kind of crunch of wood as the front like clips the back end of the gondola. It's taking on water. Giuseppe looks back and he's like, well, they're gonna have my head for that. And he continues pulling. He's like, I'll get you to the crossroads. We'll cut through the silk. You'll find more transit there, okay?
Okay.
So,
Where is Cor now?
No, you got back on the boat, right?
Oh.
We pulled the bootlegger's turn.
Oh, okay.
yeah. I think I want to have a
Okay.
moment before I hop back on.
Yeah.
Because before the crit, one of the great effects was I wanted to have one of these guys held hostage.
Right.
And
You pulled
so
this guy along with you, right?
yeah, if that's possible, because I think the fight will end as the gondola is like as doing this ridiculous, bootlegger's turn. The fight will end with the two blades crossed. He's on the ground, and the two blades are crossed under his jawbones, and I say, so House Maritzi, like she like looks at the insignia and says, so House Maritzi is in the middle of this now too. You're gonna explain what's going on, and gives him the choice of like, I can slit your throat now, or you can come with me.
Okay. Yeah. We're kind of getting that as we're doing this last kind of limp into the silk. That's kind of flash to Core looking pensive, right? So as we flash back to this Maurizi operative, he looks up and he's like, it goes so much deeper than that, but yes. The prince commands that no Greek Salado marries into the Esultare.
Wait, so we're all on the same side? That just occurred to me. Everybody's just doing this to stop Claudia. You guys are like ferrying her.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got a follow-up question for that because of your great effect, I'll answer it honestly for you.
Yeah. I want to know. I kind of want to know how we can insert ourselves into that. How can we get credit from the prince for doing his deeds? Like he sent the House Maritzi to stop this. We're gonna stop it. We're going to ensure that she doesn't marry what's his Antonius. But I want to make sure that it's House Battaglia that gets acknowledged for it. So my question is, how could we? He said it goes so much deeper. There's a very complicated weave of house politics. How could we insert House Battaglia into that weave?
He looks up at you and like his eyes are wide, steel on either side of his throat, and he's like, I was supposed to delay Claudia. I was supposed to make her not win. She can't win Antonius. If she doesn't win, and you do, it stands to reason.
Nice. Can there be? Tell me if this is over the top, but can there be like, I see in his like jacket pocket some letter with a seal from the prince, or some like letter of marque or some insignia that's like he's been sent on this? Would that be reasonable? Because I would love to snatch it from him as I hop onto the boat.
Absolutely. I think that it makes total sense in the fiction that there is an envelope with a seal, but it's not the seal of the Prince of Ilrin.
Oh, nice. That's great.
It's a seal in black wax of a black mask with 2 gold orphan notches.
Oh,
interesting. Fantastic. I grab it and I say, we'll see about that. And I leave his boat adrift as I hop over to.
Yeah. And so like we see Core like checking the inside, like the lapel maybe, like in your own lapel pocket, pulling this out and like looking down at this letter as we enter the silk.
Dig it.
So we might commandeer more transport here to get more planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, well, I mean, this one's taking on water, so we've clearly got to find.
Yeah, something must be done.
Giuseppe's stoked to be in on this. Like he's probably gonna catch hell when he takes the boat in. But he's like, I think at this point, just effusively like, this was awesome. If you need anything, just remember Giuseppe, okay?
Yeah. Oh no, we 100% will remember Giuseppe. Giuseppe is going to be hired by House Battaglia as our new house gondolier.
We're gonna do an expert, and we're gonna get Giuseppe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that I mean, it's just a matter of like flashing your credentials and flagging down. Because I mean, we've already talked about how transport is what Vitalia does, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was imagining we might have some, if not secret passages, like ways through the city that not everybody has access to. Ways through the city that by flashing the Hospitalia badge that we are let in, that is less traffic, that is more direct routes and things like that that are perhaps hidden. So yeah, Kristen, what do you think is our next transport mode? Are we on horse, on foot, on carriage?
We
on-
haven't done the horse and carriage yet, right? So I
Right.
definitely think we need to like flash our badges and
Yeah, and
commandeer
carriage.
one and
Yeah.
then go down, like you said, like a secret path,
Yeah,
like an alleyway or something. I like that.
yeah,
that's
I'm down with
super
it.
cool. So the Silk is kind of like the city's playground, right? Like this is where like all the pleasure dens and things like that are kept. This is where the theater is. This is you know sort of where it's all happening. This is
Yeah.
the artist's quarter as well. So this is one of those places where we could easily like grab one of these like handsome cabs basically, or any other kind of I hesitate to use the word cab, but this is where you hail hired transport. So
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
and if you just flash the Battaglia insignia, like I'm sure whoever it is that is driving that cab would be like, oh, okay, well, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah,
we try? Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
No, I was just gonna suggest like through the secret passages. I kind of like the idea, like, what if there are areas where like they're abandoned cemeteries, and no one is allowed to like go through them, but it belongs to Hospitalia now. That's what we use to get from place to place.
Because we guard the dead.
I love
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
That's really cool.
This is what I was thinking. I'm thinking like because the Rose District is, I mean, it's on the canals. It's all very very watery and everything. Maybe this is one of those moments where like you flash the badge and get somebody to drop the bridge, even though there's traffic and it's gonna foul up traffic.
Oh.
Might be one of those like, okay, so we are way open. So go ahead
Yeah.
and word along that, yeah. So that's an option too. If you wanna say that there are some sacred sites that nobody else is allowed to go through, like we can play with that too.
What do you think? What do you think, Kristen?
God, those are
What do you-
both so good.
I know they're both. I think we should save the sacred sites for when we're not in the like. I want that, and I want to put a pin
For
in it for
sure.
a time when we're like on the hill or.
Yeah.
not
Okay.
in- Does that
yeah.
sound? Is that okay with you, Jamie? If we save that for.
Yeah, totally. There is a place in the Philippines that's really like that, actually, where the rich people have access to cut through a cemetery or two.
Whoa.
Yeah, just over here. So that's what I was thinking of.
Wow. I love that you
Oh,
pulled
that's
from that.
cool.
That's so
Oh,
cool.
God.
And I also really like the idea that we drop a bridge mid-traffic. We're just like, this is who we are. Can I also say before I forget, and because I'm afraid of all the daggers that Drake has, that can we attempt to conceal Claudia even a little bit? Like a cloak or something so that she's just not shining out there as this person who people might want to attack?
How are you doing it?
Well, I one of the big reasons why I wanted to change wigs. Oh, I forgot. I have a tiny little flashback I need to do. It's not actually for a benefit. This is just
spare wig.
of course,
Airwig.
is when I was flipping through the air and I had my boat wig on, and I should have had my Hero of the Hour wig on. You heard Cora saying like, "I changed wigs too soon." And she, anyway,
No.
that is just because it would have looked even cooler if her big flowy blue hair was there. But yeah, I think Core definitely has a wig.
Yeah.
Um,
Is this like a fight? Like, is Lenore gonna ask Core, like, I think she needs to have one of your wigs, and you're gonna be like trying to decide which wig you're willing to share with this
I don't have
person?
my duplicity wig.
oh yeah, right. Is this an argument? I don't know. Do you think that's exciting? I'm happy to give it up, but I'm also happy to rebuff you a little and make you
I
work
kind of
for
like
it.
the idea that since you had a gondola wig, it means you had a plan, and part of the plan was not to give a wig to someone.
Yes,
That's
right.
yes.
It would mess up the perfect. like,
It
Right.
would mess up your
It would
perfect
Mess up the
reveal.
perfect layering.
Yes.
Like right. So yes. So I think the gondola wig is the one she has. So she's like, so she looks at you and she's like, fine, we'll we'll do it. And but it's like, you could tell that like she loves these reveals. She loves the showing
Yes.
off, and it's like stripping her of this. So she's, but I think if we like put a cloak over her and put a wig on her, she could look like she could be Core, right? Who would know, right?
Mhm.
Right.
At
Yeah.
a distance. So it feels to me like, interestingly enough, this particular bout of trying to advance is less about maneuver or riding a carriage and more about deceiving people and maybe like a sway roll to
I can see that.
to basically make it so that people aren't hot on our trail.
Mhm.
I could see Sway. I could see Tinker. I could even see like Consort here because like we're sort of doing the hey, nothing to see here. How do you
Yeah,
do?
everybody, it's all good.
Yeah, there's no reason that all these drawbridges are slamming down right now. That's weird, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, sway does have disguise written into it, so maybe.
I sure does.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll sway.
Okay.
What's our position effect? I think the effect that we want, and you tell me, the effect that we want is to make significant progress. I'm not saying we have to like get to the docks, but like make significant progress via carriage without being accosted, right? So that we don't look like apparently the most wanted woman in the city,
Mhm.
Claudia Brizzolato.
At this point, like you've broken sightline with your pursuers. So I think that as long as you guys are taking care and are cobbling together a disguise, proceeding with some caution here, that this is going to be standard effect. I think you're in a risky position just because you are still under active pursuit. The race of antlers is not done. There are some people who probably don't know that the folks who took off at the starting line and actually are wearing antlers right now probably aren't sure what's going on back there. Like somebody's supposed to have been caught by now. But
Not by zombies.
not by zombies. Ideally, yeah.
Risky standard sounds great.
Risky standard.
Kristen, are you up for giving me an assist?
Yeah,
I
of
feel like
course.
I feel
We're in
like
this
doing
together.
it. Yeah. All right. Risky standard. No. It's all good. We'll get caught. We'll fight our way out. Something
okay.
exciting will happen.
We can fix this.
with our swords.
Right.
Is me telling you what the consequences here, because you guys do. You cobble together a disguise. You kind of put her down in the back of the hansom cab. Who's driving? Are you guys letting a driver drive, or is somebody taking the reins? Did we kick that guy out of his cab?
No, I'd like to think that Lenore kicks the person out.
Yeah.
And drive. Yeah.
I like that too. Like this sort of old wizened cabbie is like, Natalia, it's just sort of boot, and off they go, and it's like, sorry, commandeer.
Yep.
So you pile into the hansom cab, passing back like your cloak or whatever, your contribution to disguise, and the wig from Core.
From Core.
Yeah, Core's sitting in the back there, very meticulously placing pins in Claudia's hair.
Excellent.
Of course.
I think that as you guys are heading up these main streets with these heavy drawbridges or whatever, I think that what's going on is that there is there's big heavy traffic that is actually underneath one of these bridges. One of those big scows, one of those transport scows, is actually right there, and it seems to have like run aground on something. And so the bridge is kind of up at like a 45-degree angle, and there's watch presence there. They're trying to sort everything out. They're trying to get them to haul it forward, but it's a roadblock in front of you. And one of them like steps forward in this kind of cuirassier breastplate with like the plumed helmet and everything. Watch sergeant walks up and kind of puts a hand up and he's like, "Oh there, terribly sorry. We'll have it all sorted out in you expect 30 minutes." And then something explodes. He's like, 45 minutes. There's a plume of smoke that is coming up from the back side of this garbage scow.
Mhm.
We'll get there in just a second.
Yeah, I just want to say I have recently watched the movie Speed.
I mean, I was also considering jumping it, but we'll see what happens. Okay.
Because Malika, why does that sound like a threat?
It does, right? I have recently watched.
It is a threat.
I will have you know that I watched Speed twice in slow-mo. All right, so Malika, and you managed to slow Rumor's fall. She's not been trampled by the tar puppets. The tar puppets have returned to almost like after they tear apart the knack, they return to almost like a sort of swaying like hold state. But Moon has vanished inside. The skirl of steel is fading inside. You are kind of at a crossroads. You've managed to cushion your colleague's fall, your friend's fall, but your sometimes rival is inside and in mortal peril against somebody who's supposed to be like the boogeyman of Ilrian. Where is your loyalty in this moment?
So the reputation of the Prince of Tatters is this is someone who haunts like the city, or
Before you laid eyes on the Prince of Tatters, it was really only rumors. Like there's nursery rhymes and tales and things like that. Like this is what happens to nobles who are bad. Their house falls and they're sent into exile and they exist in this kind of weird demi-shadow sort of, we can't really affect reality anymore. I mean, stories are varied. It's either somebody who died and like still has things left to do. It's, a vigilante, it's a sorcerer, it's a demon, it's any number of things. But you just laid eyes, and currently it's fighting your rival. I don't know.
Rumor's in full denial. She thinks it's like a costume that somebody put on to affect that reaction from people.
You may not be wrong.
So she's like, no.
No, that's not real. So, knowing that you're basically fighting a nursery rhyme, or Moon is, are you going after, or are you going to make sure that Moon is okay?
yeah, I think I'm going to Hospitalia must come first above all else, and Rumor is under my care. So I'll rush to Rumor's side to see how she's doing.
And Rumor, you're not much the worse for wear, right? You fell off a horse into a mob of zombies, basically.
It was scary for a second, but
Scary.
then they backed up, and she's like, oh, like it went from I hate Nax to like then backing up and
Knackery. Oh, Knackery, so good. So good.
She's coming to check on her. She's just on her back, and like she's pulled out a cigarette, and she hasn't even bothered to get up. She's just like lighting it, like, oh, this is my best and worst day ever. I think once she gathers herself, she's gonna say, go and she assumes it's a friend. I don't know that it's super open what kind of relationship they have. So go and help your friend. I have to get to Corvetto. So I think that's when we are going to do a flashback.
Uh-oh.
I want to do something where I set up someone to I'm going to tap one of my contacts, Genevieve, a childhood friend.
Ooh, okay.
So I have a friend who I set up in advance who is supposed to help me with this race because there's a personal thing going on here too. It's not just that Hospitalia wants to stop that marriage. She personally has to see that marriage stop. So that takes precedence, or like that takes importance over anything else, including the people who attacked her, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So Genevieve, is this somebody who works in transportation, or is this somebody who is connected enough to?
Well, I already got my sweet steed, so I think it was Genevieve was supposed to like be a buffer and like slow people down and make sure that I can get ahead of everyone.
Oh.
But when she arrives, like the situation's like chaos, and so I'm just like, help Malika, and then she's gonna out on a bolt.
So here's the thing: Genovese has spent this entire day as we're watching this flashback. I think Genovese sabotaged this garbage scout. I think Genovese has engineered a couple of
Love it.
has engineered
Crossover.
another couple of like transportation mishaps throughout the city, and has like redirected the course to be more winding and difficult for most people. And you with your awesome Hospitalia thoroughbred, I'm gonna call this, if you are willing to basically ensure that that there is no other competitor that can get to the docks before you can.
Mhm.
That's probably a 2-stretch flashback.
Yeah, I mean,
Because that's
she
a
was
lot.
blowing up. She was doing her job. That was amazing. I'll take 2 stress for somebody who's gonna blow up a trash barge for me.
That barge is in my way.
You could have resisted it.
Too soon.
Too soon. That's okay, because I hear tell that you've watched Speed.
Yes.
But,
I'm just saying I have special armor about resisting obstacles, physical obstacles. So I am very much for
all right.
healing these horses and just anyway. Well,
I love it. Okay.
that's not our scene.
I love it. Okay. So you sent Genovese back to help Malika? Is that what's...
Yeah, so whatever, she's basically going to be at Malika's disposal,
Oh.
because I don't need her to further interfere with anything from here. Like,
Okay.
I'm just going to go, but I can't leave, I can't in good faith leave, like, a teammate, coterie member, by themselves, even though, I mean, we could
If
very much be
somebody's
like,
going to be alone.
Malika, first of all, she can handle herself, and second of all, she could also be all like, bye, Moon, and just walk, but just but like she has to stop. She has to stop that marriage.
Okay. So that's where you're going. Like the last thing we see is you touching spurs to flanks, and away goes Chauncey, the noble steed. I love Chauncey. Like Chauncey and Giuseppe are absolutely going to be experts later on. Probably added to the character sheets. All right. So that being said, Malika, you're entering this bolt hole to go see what's going on with the moon, right? Okay. So you remember this place from your vision. This is the abandoned, kind of broken up storefront that you saw when you sent that seabird spinning toward true north. And up above, there's a garret, and there's blood on the stairs leading up to the garret. There's still the sound of swordplay. That neither of them have called Halton enough. They're still probably up there fighting to the death. What do you do?
Yeah, so sorry, I have to confirm. So everybody who's on our list, they're caught up in the house, or they're from another house, or
So the Brizzolatos are the criminal organization. House Marizzi is one of the houses of the Esaltare. They took a shot at Claudia Brizzolato. The Prince of Tatters is some kind of free agent. We thought the Knack was working for the Brizzolatos, but then he did something that made him very clearly not working for the Brizzolatos. And he came to come and confer with the Prince of Tatters, apparently. So there's a lot of wheels moving right now.
yeah. Sorry, what I meant is like, does that mean Moon is part of Hospitalia or part of something else? Ooh, it's complicated.
Moon could totally be a confidant from within House Brizzolato, but they could also be from anywhere else. That's all.
Who's the house that's like on top right now?
Lovell.
Lavelle.
Yeah, I think I want to say that they're from there, which makes it even more complicated. Like,
Ooh, Moon is a House Lavelle retainer. Excellent.
Nice.
yeah. So it's
now
very,
we've
it's
got
very
Moon
bad.
and Cipriana in House Lavelle. Love it.
Oh, the chains are tightening.
But yeah, so but I think Hospitalia believes that it doesn't matter which house you belong to. If someone needs your help, then they need your help, right? So I think Malika is going to rush upwards, and they're I'm going to say I have yeah, I'm trying to like scout the situation, see what's going on in the fight, and seeing how I can help Moon.
I think, in this case, you've got a moment as you are kind of climbing up the stairs where you're following this trail of blood. You're putting together like the sounds coming from above, kind of figuring out like the topography as it comes into view. Is this survey? Is that what you? Is that what you're?
Oh, okay. Well, it's more like I want to see more, just so that.
Sure. So as you're coming up here, this may not be where the action is. So I think that as you're moving up onto the landing of the stairs, Moon and the prince are locked in the center of this space, like it's an alchemical laboratory. There are things bubbling in cauldrons. There's glass everywhere. Some of it has been overturned and it's smoking evilly, throwing a green haze into the air. Moon is bleeding. The prince has like kind of the upper hand and is driving Moon to their knees. But they're locked in this titanic struggle. The prince is facing you. Moon has their back to you. What do you want to do here? What do you need to know here?
I'm going to say, Moon, don't argue with me like last time. And they feel me like pulling the energy into myself, and I'm going to try to wreck all that valuable equipment and cause an explosion.
Okay. I love it. Okay.
Are you doing a vulgar display of power? Is that the?
Oh, I used it last time. So,
okay.
But I'm definitely angling towards my wreck. And I'm going to say I have demolition tools.
Oh,
magical
yes.
demolition tools that,
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, this might be some kind of arcane focus, some kind of thing that just basically turns your power into a hammer. And the idea.
Yeah, I'm also marking arcane implements just to make sure that this is all like,
oh yeah,
kosher.
Either way, whether we're calling this demolition tools or arcane implements, either of them work just fine. So that being said, the measure for success here is we cause a boom, right? Okay.
Yeah. Basically.
In that case, there's a lot of bad stuff in here. So I think this is desperate. If you're just gonna swing wreck in the hopes of creating an explosion, but I think you have greater effect with your arcane here.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. So I'm going to, let's see. I'm also interested in hearing a lady's favor.
The lady's favor here is that I think the lady's favor here is that there will be no trace of Moon or the prince when the dust settles, if this works.
Oh, wait, you mean that Moon is going to get caught in the crossfire, or?
You're not going to know.
Oh, mysterious. Yeah. I think I'm fine with it being mysterious. This is probably not the first time this has happened, unfortunately. Right. So between the two of us, so I will take that. So it's risky great, right? Oh, desperate great.
Desperate great.
Yeah. Okay.
If you want to spare Moon from any kind of bad things, which you add this before you decide on this lady's favor, you can make this desperate standard. But if you're just wielding your power like a hammer and trying to cause as much havoc as possible, Moon is right in the center of it all as well.
Yeah, I'll pull it down to standard then for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so desperate, standard, and then an extra. Okay.
Nice.
Ooh, 5. Mm-hmm.
So the good news is that you do it, right? You wield this power that comes so easily to you through this. What does this this particular arcane device look like?
Ooh, yeah. I think what happens is that from the crack remains of the amulet, there's like the smallest sliver of something, like it's moving and oozing on its own. And Malika takes it and puts it into her mouth and swallows it, and then retches it in a quick moment, and it comes out like bigger and blacker. And then Malika like flings it towards the laboratory, and you can see like right before it makes contact, it starts moving on its own already, like it's trying to find the the most vulnerable target.
The warmth, to the warmth, to the heat, to the fire. Bring me there. Yeah, it crawls with a mind of its own toward one of these alembics, these calcinators, these crocs of bubbling horror. And as it kind of splashes across, it combines things, and it combines with itself, and all of a sudden, just every piece of glass in here, there's this high-pitched keening that you think it's really only the Max who might be able to hear that, which means everybody in this room. It shatters all the glass, and a bunch of things combine that were supposed to not combine, and the explosion is fantastic. The bad news is that you're still very much in the doorway. The roil of fire, this kind of greasy black smoke, impacts you, and it's this sledgehammer blow through the chest. As you go rocketing backwards down these stairs, tumbling, I think that you kind of drift in and out of conscious. You are concussed to level 3 harm.
Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna mark my armor just to bring it down to 2 harm.
Okay. So you are dazed, level 2 harm.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What?
No, I'm sorry. I was muted. So as you kind of shake and clear the cobwebs and everything, I think that if you're gonna pull yourself back up those stairs and see what's up there, there is very little. I think that you see that the blood trail leads to an open window, but when you get there, there's nothing out there. There's some bits of cast off knack gear, some little bits of laboratory equipment which are not completely destroyed. Maybe you'd be able to find out what they're up to up here, but otherwise, like, you are the only thing moving in this whole hall.
Yeah, and I think when that happens, I'm going to So the way that the scrying works here is that it's supposed to be a distant place and you can see into the past.
Correct.
But if I'm already in the place and I want to see in the past, could it work that way?
It sure could, yeah. Instead of seeing somewhere distant, you could just see into the past here. So there's a stress cost for both things that are distant and things that are in the past. So you can mark one or the other or both or anything like that. So.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll mark 1 stress in order to like peer into the past. Because now that the distractions are out of the way, I can try to figure out what the heck the Knack was trying to do and what they were trying to focus on, how they were working with the Prince of Tatters.
Sure thing. Yeah. So go ahead and pay that stress cost. I think that this could be either a channel or a study or a survey or whatever else you think this might be. This might even be tinkering with things arcane.
Yeah, I think study makes sense. Like, it's very much a moment where time freezes, right, and then it just sort of moves backwards slowly, and Malika walks through it. Yeah. I play a lot of video games, so I was thinking Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, but either works.
You are hexed, so there is a chance that things go poorly in the weave here. So that being said, I think that we're gonna take a die away, because you are opening your sight, which right now you've got 6 eyes, and they're all probably giving you competing information. I think that we might peer, into things that are going to maybe leave scars, right? So I think losing the die for hexed, we're in a controlled position here. So I think a controlled with -1 die. Yeah, I think controlled standard here.
Yeah, okay. I think that makes sense. I'm going to also say that I'm using ritual implements,
yeah,
in order to help either with the effect or add a die.
I think that would give you your die back.
Okay.
The implements might just be like trying to contain the hex as you're peering back into the
Absolutely. That makes sense. And I think the way that it looks like is Malika starts drawing on like on their body, like closed eyes to try to like negate the hex in a way as they go about it. And then so controlled I'm sorry, what is it? Controlled standard?
Controlled standard. Yep.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, 5.
Okay, so you get pretty good information here. I think that you manage with these closed eye sigils all over yourself. Malika is seated at the center of this bolt hole and sort of looking out and trying to take in these ghosts that are all moving in reverse. It's difficult because you know that they are speaking, but it's all coming back and it's like a tape that's being rewound. So you don't get anything that they're saying. You see what they're doing. And it looks like this knack is bringing little parcels, hair, fingernails, things that are connected to people. And he's bringing this to this place, and under the direction of the shadowy figure that you can only assume to be the prince, is putting them into these alembics and these calcinators and these retorts and things. And he's working some great work. And it's clear that it is dark magic. The thing that is being done here is like this is not petty squabbling politicking. This is murder. Like they are executing murder here.
And then so I think Malika will use that information to get what she can that survived the wreckage, just enough for their former teacher, Owen, to take a look. And I think they spend one last moment, like they're sort of standing, waiting to see if Moon is going to show up like Batman or not. And then when that doesn't happen, Malika leaves behind a good luck charm for Moon to pick up if they choose to come back.
What does that good luck charm look like?
I think it's going to look like there's a... I'm sorry, what?
Tell me it's a rose.
Oh yeah, we should keep it the rose. Right.
Totally.
I think what it looks like is Malika takes it out and then they kiss the rose for a moment before they place it on the desk.
So good. Yes. Outstanding. If Moon is still around and bleeding, he'll come back and they'll see that rose. And yeah, I think that's really cool. Okay, so back on the bridge, are we speeding?
What do you think, Chris? I think we definitely are, but the question is Lenore driving this whole carriage off, or are we cutting the ropes and jumping on the horses and riding the horses and leaping them over? Both are very cool.
Oh my God.
options to
I
me.
love the idea of Lenore saying, I don't know, something to the effect of plan B, and then like hits the reins and you bring Claudia up and detach us, right? So that it's just, how many horses do we have?
It's probably 2 horses, right?
4.
4? Okay, sounds good.
We can put Claudia on the back of one of our horses, or we can throw her on her own horse and hope for the best.
I was thinking, she's riding on the back of one of us, but if there's 4 horses, she's a noble and we're all trained to ride. Like she for sure.
Okay.
Could
So
do
we'll
this.
the horse in between us, since we try to keep her.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna cut them loose so they're not bound to one another. Otherwise, they.
Right.
But yeah. So I think it's like the guards like, whoa, sorry, hold on, and I feel like
45 minutes. Nerds to that.
I feel like Lenore. I mean, you tell me, but I feel like we don't even slow. It's just like, whoa,
Yep.
hold on, and it's just like.
Yep.
I think this poor beleaguered watch sergeant like puts up a hand and is like, I need 45, and then like has to dive out of the way. As
Yeah,
you guys
right.
don't even put on a brake.
Right. And a moment later, the carriage is rolling backwards, right? Because we're running up it. We cut the straps, and the carriage is, the carriage comes rolling back as we charge on the horses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These are carriage horses. These are kind of big, powerful animals. They're definitely not the not like the quarter horses or thoroughbreds or anything that the Hospitalia stable is stocked with. These are almost like draft beasts, right?
Mhm.
I don't know that these are the kind of horses that you want to jump a bridge on, but we're about to find out. So,
Right.
Find out together.
what is this?
I
Maneuver?
feel like it's got to be maneuver, right? I mean, it feels like it's the quintessential thing we're
Yeah.
doing. What do you think, Kristen? Are you down?
Yeah,
with
I think maneuver.
that?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. That
You
sounds great.
you led the last one, so I'm happy to lead this one.
Okay.
And I think the way that looks is, Core jumps on just as you're like holding the reins, and we
Mhm.
kind of glance at each other. Core is, the first one to jump on a horse, and again, it's the same thing we were doing before. Where like Core jumps on, and then we wait for Claude to get on, and you're the last one to go. So
Yeah.
Core's, and I think there's this like, hiya,
Yep.
and just hope that these horses, who probably invariably have blinders on if they're carriage horses, are just like not taking in what they're seeing,
Yep.
so that they don't realize. Because if they had any sense of what was going on,
Yeah.
they would never do this.
If Claudia's looking at you like that, she should probably have blinders on.
Right.
Like she's looking at you guys like you can't be serious. And
Yeah.
at this point, it's like, yeah, and
Yep.
away we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's maneuver. What's our position in effect?
I feel like
Sorry.
over an exploding garbage scow on a horse that is not meant for this. I'm feeling desperate. What are you guys feeling?
I think desperate is the
Yes.
only position.
I think that's fair.
that makes sense.
Desperate? I honestly think that it's limited. The three of you getting over this 45-degree angle bridge on these carriage horses with blinders on, trailing Claudia Brizzolato. I got to give you limited at that.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, let's think about what limited would look like. Would that mean we just get over the bridge and then the horses are exhausted and done for, but we have to find another means, or would it mean I'm trying to think of, if assuming we succeed, what would limited be?
So the limited effect here means that you guys are going to, clear the bridge, but I think that the other side of like the barricade is going to present a new obstacle, because like the watch had to like barricade both sides, and so you jumping this bridge is going to bring up another obstacle, or else it might be that that you guys just get down onto this garbage scow and have to figure out a way from there.
I have another idea. It doesn't change things mechanically too much, but it might lead towards less possible animal cruelty, which is that we could ride to the very edge and then leap off our horses and swim from there, right? Like it might be that we, it's the same general effect, but rather than trying to leap these horses, if we feel like that is pushing the bounds of.
Yeah, my thought, I grew up riding horses. My thought is that if we fail it, the horse will come to the end and stop.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Like the
nice.
horse will save itself, and then
Yep.
we don't have to deal with. And Drake, I don't mean take over. That was
No.
my way of us getting out of any sort of harm to
That makes total sense. All right, well,
majestic animals.
let's ride these horses. So I think what we should do is either figure out whether we have some sort of items that we could justify improving our effect, or push, because I think we want to make
I'm
it
gonna
all the way.
push.
I feel like we want to get to standard effect. Are you up for pushing? Okay,
Yeah, Is that 2?
that's 2. Yeah.
Too stressed.
Okay.
And it normally you can give it for effect or for dice. In this case, I think we really want it for effect, so we go up to standard.
Okay.
I also think a lady's favor makes sense to ask for right now, and tell me if this sounds right, but I feel like just by not stopping, going full-fledged into it, and not really caring that people notice, it seems like it could generate more heat for us.
That's absolutely my thought. I'm like,
Right.
this is the most exposy thing we could possibly have.
Yeah.
We're very showy.
Yeah. No, I think
Is that, I mean, I could, on some hand, I think getting the heat is fine, but I also feel totally like we can justify it. Like in the heat of the moment, heat of the moment, in this
Yes.
race, all's fair, right? Like,
Sure.
any way
Yes.
to get to the docks is a fair
We
thing.
would risk ourselves to protect Claudia,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
and get her home
yeah.
safely.
As we're writing and we're yawing and we're going,
We're getting
Core
our
sort of,
story straight.
yeah,
Get her-
Core turns to Lenore and she says, "I'm gonna be an advocate again, and that's gonna happen when we set, basically the unsaid part, because she doesn't have a whole paragraph of speech to say, is like
Right.
this is our path towards what we care about, what matters
Yeah.
to us, and in this case, it's like we're gonna prove ourselves here right now, this moment.
This
Yeah.
is what we play for.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is
So,
it.
do you want the +1D, or would you like me to take it? It doesn't.
You take it
Okay.
because of my previous rules,
All
and
right.
I'm superstitious.
I will.
Here we
I
go.
will-
Desperate standard because we've pushed.
Oh wait, I have to do. Sorry, I didn't do desperate. You roll first anyway, right?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
We can do it. We can do any order. Do you want to roll for? Oh, there we go.
Desperate standard, and you're taking the bonus.
Yep. Do not like this. Okay. Well,
It's fine. It's fine.
Lenore
did
is
it.
dead. Roll a
did
new
it. No, no.
character.
I have
Everyone
special
dies.
armor built for exactly this problem. So it's
I'm gonna tell you that the problem that happens here is that as like the guardsmen are leaping out of your way, the watch leaps out of your way, the person who is actually holding this this bridge, like the brake on this bridge,
Mhm.
like has to dive out of the way as well. And as they do so, this bridge comes smashing down on top of this scow, which is already on fire, and now the bridge is on fire. But you have that special armor. You can say no to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no to that, and I'm gonna say no to that in what I think is the coolest freaking way, which is there's like a break, and he lets go of it, and Core pulls a dagger out from behind her
Oh my God.
behind her back and throws it into the braking gear, and it like sticks into the gear, and it,
Oh.
like wedges it stuck, so that it holds and the bridge
At
doesn't
least
fall.
at least long enough for you guys to get by, right?
At least long enough, right?
Yes.
Whatever happens after we're gone is on the
I
bridge
just need
crew.
3 minutes. Like that's all I need.
That's it.
All right, so you guys are well on your way to the docks as we see this clatter of hooves, and then over, and just this majestic shot of the three of you just clearing this gap. Yeah, it's a thing of beauty. And like one of the watchmen like turns and is like, "Who was that?" And there's this coachman who's got like a knot on his head. He comes staggering up. He's like, "Damn battalion."
It's fine. It's fine.
It'll be fine.
We'll sort this out later.
So I think that like the next scene that we have, this has to be Rumor showing up at the docks, right?
Yeah.
Somehow you're there at the mall. I think Antonius is out in front. He's home free. Where have you secluded yourself? Like where did you and Genovese decide that you were going to spring this ambush?
I think it's like, I don't know. I feel like it has to be like something like that nobody would expect. Like he's gonna be coming through this like alley or something, thinking like the finish line is right there, and like she's like in like one of the little barrels, basically looking like Oscar the Grouch. That's
Drake,
way
is the
too
finish-
much of a-
Drake, is the finish line on a boat? Do they have to
I would
like?
love
Is that
to be on a boat? But you guys have to tell me what the finish line looks like.
because if it's on a boat, then you could definitely be like on another nearby boat or on the docks or like instead of running down the piers, you know, to
Like,
get
she's
onto this
right
boat.
there, like he can smell freedom. She is so close to the finish line that it's not even funny.
What signifies the finish line? Is there an officiant? Is there like an actual like ribbon that they have to cross through? Is this?
Oh yeah,
like-
there's definitely like people standing there to make sure that like, because there has to be witnesses and whatnot. There's
Yeah.
probably been people like all over like the rooftops and whatnot. I mean,
Oh,
there's
this
been a
is-
lot of carnage. So
this
some
is
of them are distracted.
this
but-
is a high exposure errand, guys. I
Yeah.
gotta say.
Yeah.
But like they have to know that like people are getting caught legitimately, right? So that they can't be like, oh no, they didn't catch me.
No, they didn't catch me. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They're bound, and they've got this crown, and so the first thing you do is you grab their crown, and they're still bound. So you like lead them like a prisoner to one of the officiants, right? but just dragging him by the antlers. But like, yeah, I totally see there being like a crowd. So there's a crowd on the docks. Is this on a boat? Do they have to get to like a particular ship?
I feel like the boat is safety, right? If you leap onto
Yeah.
the boat, if you make it onto the boat, you're done. You got through. You're safe, right?
Excellent. Okay. So there's a
I'm
boat.
just thinking about all those games where like,
Yeah, it's gotta be some kind of like fancy, like gilt, like probably like belongs to the first court. Like it's a big deal.
This is the prince's personal like pleasure barge, right?
Yeah.
So this is like his big, like long drafted like catamaran, right? These two big like pontoons supporting like this big, almost like a ballroom floor that floats with like this beautiful pergola all hung with ivy.
Freedom looks so beautiful.
I know, it's gorgeous. And there's like refreshments because you've been running, and there are some people who are there to clap politely when you get there. And then of course like the mob over there that are shouting abuse and all kinds of other stuff at you. I should have gotten married. But anyway, so that's what freedom looks like.
Mhm.
And you're in a can or
Oh,
a
yeah.
barrel of some kind, like right on the dock.
Oh yeah, no, he has to get close enough to like smell freedom, and also she needed to make sure that there was time for everyone else to kind of arrive and witness this.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
it has to be like she's kind of hoping that Claudia gets there in time to see this, but you know. It's,
oh, I think we're riding up on horses. It's got to be, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna happen right as you jump out of this barrel of mackerel.
Girl.
So, surprise.
Just fish.
Yeah. So I think that this is definitely part of your flashback. Just
Uh-huh.
tell me like what do we think this is? Is this
Oh, this is
purely
ridiculous, but it's probably a maneuver.
maneuver?
Yeah.
I'm willing to hear maneuver because at this point, like bursting out of a barrel of fish to assault one of these guys, that makes sense to me.
Okay, so yeah, no, so
It's not about being
maneuver.
hidden. It's more about being faster than him at the end of this race from being in front of him. now you have to deal with me.
Okay, so I'm gonna maneuver. Can you hear ladies' favor here?
Lady's favor is that Claudia is at this very, very moment about to spear him from the side.
Oh,
So like you're gonna be right in front of Claudia right as you grab this guy, and she's gonna be right there watching this happen, knowing your face, seeing this.
okay. So I'm gonna take that with the caveat that, like, since I see her coming, if somehow the prince manages to get away, she's definitely like catching a boat, so she can't get in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna turn from a maneuver to a skirmish real quick.
Yeah. Well, and we are with her. So although
Yeah.
we're not going to block her line of sight, there's certainly, I don't. It's hardly. We've hardly had a moment of to spare. But I feel like somewhere along the lines we've said like we will get you to the end safely. You are not taking hold. You're not taking hold of Antonius's antlers. You know, and I don't know if she would be cool with that or not. But I mean, I
Wow. Okay.
feel like
Beg your pardon. I have to handle this in a flashback real quick.
Oh,
Okay. So that being said, like as you are spurring, as you are heading toward the dock, like do you think that this was like back in the gondola? Was this on the rooftops? Was this in the carriage?
I feel like it would be in the carriage, like when we had like a moment when I was putting her wig on. When I
Yeah.
was putting the pins on, I said, just so you know, we're gonna save your life, but you're gonna end this race with no antlers in your hand. I don't think I mentioned him by name. I just say like
Okay. Yeah. There's no antlers for you.
you get to live, but you're not getting antlers. Yeah.
Okay. That's different because if you had been like, no, you don't get Antonius, and she's like, well, why the hell not? Like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm in this race to do, right?
Yeah. Right.
But just like you are not, there's no antlers for you today.
Yeah.
I think that is different. That is less risky here.
Okay.
I think that like, does this feel like a consort? Like, I mean, you are, or is this more of a connect?
Yeah, I feel. I mean, I'm terrible at consort, but that's fine. But it's along the lines of I want us to be cool at the end of this, and part of that is that like we saved your life, but we're not. We're getting you to that boat where you will be safe because you'll be among your people, but we're not. That's our task here. It is not to get you to win this thing, and we want that to be understood and cool. We've already saved your life like 5 times at this point. You know,
And yours.
what's that?
And your own.
And our own, for sure, absolutely. But we didn't have to take her along.
No.
But I think it's like we're taking you along, but we're not doing this to win the race. We're doing this to make sure you're safe.
Sure.
Yeah, and arguably you could say you're swaying with logic, right? Like
Yeah.
you are pointing out the facts.
That does make sense if you're swaying the
That's-
logic here.
That's true. I think we could say like, especially as we're trying to disguise her, like our goal is to keep you from getting killed, and that means we're not putting you in front of harm's way. Well, as we're like doing all of these super dangerous things, that means we're not taking the risk of you grabbing hold of antlers. We're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna get you to that boat. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Okay, that is a control position. She hates it. Like she's not gonna wanna hear it.
Yeah.
I think we start with limited effect, just because like she's probably gonna look for an opportunity to grab Antonius anyway, because that's who she is. Like
Yeah.
she'll feel bad about it. Like when we start off, if you get this, like she'll probably think that she owes you something at the end of it. But she's still gonna go for Antonius. But
Sounds
you can tell
good.
me.
Nope, I'm fine. I'm gonna push.
Fine with that?
Let's see. Well, hold on. What I have right now? I have not used it this year. I have not used any of my special items yet. Let me see if any of them will pull me over, because I feel like
You have a fine wit.
I have a fine wit, and I also have a badge of honor. Bum, bum, bum.
Ooh, yeah, maybe the badge of honor is cool, like bringing Hospitalia into it.
Yeah, a badge of honor, a pin or other symbol you possess. It's not. I see. I think it's going to be a combination of the two. Is that I sort of like at some point. I think, yeah, this is great. In the carriage, I reveal this letter that has this black seal on it, and I say there are many people who want you dead. It does not. It starts with House Maritzi, and it goes much higher. And I say, as Hospitalia, it is our duty to protect the people of Ilrian, and protect you is what I'm going to do. So yeah, I think I'm flashing my badge of honor, but mostly it's I want to use my fine wit to turn a conversation in my favor and see if I can get standard effect out of this.
Yeah, that totally makes sense to me.
Cool.
Roll it.
I'm going to push myself, which is going to trauma me. So that'll be fun. That means no more core leading any more exciting events after this. I love that you can push yourself in flashbacks retroactively. This is one of my favorite parts of my.
Oh yeah.
Since you're there and can overhear the conversation, Kristen, let me know if you want to assist.
Yeah, is it
interested.
one stress to assist?
One stress to assist? Yeah.
Yeah. So I will be entering trauma after this. This fills up my stress bar. But I'm
Fills up your
We're
stress.
both gonna trauma. That's why.
yeah.
Flash
I
rush
mean-
to the finish line.
No,
Okay. There's the finish
yeah.
line, we gotta go.
We're
Yeah.
I mean, we're in this together, so I'm totally willing to be
Nice.
traumatized for it.
I love it. Okay, controlled, standard, and I'm taking 2 Monos dice. One for pushing, one for support. All right. Well, I got a 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So like she nods. She's like, okay, that's fair. For what you're doing. My father will be furious, but I'll try and make a case for it. There will be other races of antlers.
Can I make their traumas or collective traumas worth it by using this extra moment of conversation hesitation as like a setup action, because it all gives me that extra split second to get in there before she does?
Mark point of stress, and yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
That's some good Navi. That is some good system mastery right there.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. I love it. Okay, so go ahead and use that as a setup action.
Okay.
That gives you controlled, and that gives you greater, doesn't it?
Yep, so I got controlled greater. I have the extra die from the lady's favor. And that is basically all I can do.
All comes down to this, guys.
Roll high.
You got it. Nice.
Yes.
All right, so out of the barrel of mackerel comes bursting as Antonius is just starting to come up the dock toward the pleasure craft alone, by himself, out in front of the pack. Claudia coming in. But here comes Rumor. What does it look like?
Oh no, the rumor she was coming from the other side, so she spears him in this direction as Claudia's flying this way. So like she kind of goes over both of us as I take him to the ground, and as soon as he hits the ground, I pull out my fine invitation to the race.
Oh! Oh! Oh no!
I'm legit.
That makes it legitimate.
Legit.
Oh no, it's legitimate. Antonius, like, his face is all like shock, pain, disgust, horror. Yeah, and I think Claudia, like from the sidelines, like still has a hand outstretched and like eyes just huge, and like she looks.
Oh, my eyes are all creepy crawly still. I just wink at her.
Oh man, but she's not looking at you.
Oh.
Apollo
Oh.
Grisolato on the pleasure craft up there.
Oh.
He looks.
I'll wave at him.
I know he looks and like just this statuesque, just like carved facade. These long kind of golden curls, just looking like a Greek god. Standing atop this pleasure craft, looks down, like kind of tucks like a swagger stick under one arm and just starts to applaud, like just nose up, and just that's where we're gonna cut.
Nice.
Well done, guys.
Wow.
You guys have run the race of antlers.
Yeah,
did
we
it.
won
Can't be contentious.
Can be contentious.
And we won.
All right.
I want to follow up a tiny bit on that consequence. Before Claudia said, "Oh, my dad's going to kill me for this,"
Yeah.
Lenore probably realized that Cor was just saying that to like convince her. And
Mhm.
then when she's like, "Okay, I'll do it, but I'm going to catch hell for my family," you real like this is the trauma that like that like pushes Cor over. And I think Lenore sees this. She's like, yeah, okay. And she nods, and there's just like no like none of the normal like glee in her face, and you realize at that moment it went from like, I'm just telling you this because I want you to go along with what I'm saying, to like, oh no, I actually believe this. I actually believe that I want to keep you I want to keep you safe, and like I'm not lying anymore. Like I'm retroactively not lying anymore. Like I am going to keep you
Oh.
safe, and it matters to me. And like the
Oh.
fact that you're putting your own stake on the line as well means something. So
Yeah.
that's when Cor's like taken aback by like Claudia's honesty and willingness to
Mhm.
go into it. And you just sort of see like the gears shifting in her head. It's like
Yeah.
it goes from like a fun chase to like something does actually care about.
Oh, what tango
Love
plans
it.
do you weave?
That's her, being taken out and traumatized by the effect.
Oh, this is so good, guys. Oh man, adding to the dagger rack. Okay, well, we are rapidly approaching the end of our time.
Yes.
We're probably going to do XP and an advancement and things like that off screen, and we'll start off with downtime, payoff, all the other good stuff.
Sounds
What
great.
we do next, yeah.
Yeah, sounds great.
Dig it. All right, friends, this was so much fun. I am very looking forward. I'm not looking forward to the time when we have to figure out how much heat we get, but it's fine. Well, that'll problems for a future session. I am Sean. I use he him pronouns. I had an absolute blast playing this game tonight. On Friday, I'll be playing Burning Wheel with Judd, and Saturday on the channel we've got Rebel Crown as well. 2 weeks from now, we're going to be adding Mothership to that lineup, a sci-fi horror game. Jay Brown is going to run that. It'll be his first time streaming, so very excited about that too. Yeah, fun stuff all about. Happy New Year. How about you, Nevi?
Guys, Navi, and I'm choosing pronouns, and This is the thing I'm working on the most here. We've been kind of doing some interesting rules revisions and whatnot, and toying with some new mechanics. So this is still very much eating at most of my attention. That's me in a nutshell. So I'm kind of boring lately, aren't I?
Oh, you're working on a super cool game. I'm nothing boring about that.
How about you, Jamie? And I'm sorry. I mean, I know you're also Malika, but I
Oh no, that's fine.
As I said it, I was like, because it's nobody else can see this, but like everybody on my screen has their name really big underneath them, and hers is Malika, right? Like, and so like it's like I was. Anyway, so what you do?
Yeah, no worries. So I'm Jamie. I use they them pronouns, and today was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to how everything shakes out later. How much Moon is going to be upset with me for tracking them into this. But also, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Temporal Hiccup. You can also find me at itch.io. I like to make games too. My biggest project right now is Apocalypse Keys and Balikbayan. Apocalypse Keys is a Hellboy-inspired game. Balikbayan is a supernatural cyberpunk game and Filipino folklore stuff at the center of it. And also, I do want to announce Session Zero is happening soon. It is an online event that focuses on Asian creators, RPG, Southeast Asian creators. It's completely free. It's happening through this there's this RPG Japanese element of hanging out in a town. It's kind of magical. I don't know exactly how it works, but you can find out more. It's called Session Zero, Gamers and GMs Philippines on Twitter for more details. Very good stuff. Yeah, and I'll be there at the end of this month hanging out. So if you want to meet me and hang out with me, I'll be there in my little sprite form. And then when you come close, the video will come up. It's all magical. I don't completely understand the technology. So, but yeah, so that's it for me. Kristen, how about you?
Hi, I'm Kristen. I use she, her pronouns. I get to go figure out what trauma means because I did not read about that in my first pass through of this game. So I'm very excited. I had a great time tonight. One thing I love about this game, and there's many things, is the tension that is built before a roll, and you're just getting favors and anyways, tonight's rolls were just tension filled and fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. So Navi, you are not boring. You are working on a lovely game and wear fantastic lipstick, so nowhere near boring. You can find me on Twitter at Kristen is no Jedi, and you can also find me at diceupgames.com, where my partner and I design games. We have North Sea Epilogues, which is a Viking game already released. You can find more information about that at Dice Up Games. And I'm so excited that it's 2021 because we have a few new games coming out this year that I'll be able to talk about hopefully before we wrap this game up at the end of February. I think that's it for me. How about you, Drake?
I'm Drake. This has been a blast GMing. I use he, him pronouns. I am on the Twitterverse at Drake and Dice. I have a blog that is updated sometimes called drakeanddice.com, where you can see my strange rambling musings about this and other games. Courtofblades.com has Court of Blades. We're going to be putting more playtest rules up there before it goes into its third revision, where it will get even more awesome and shiny and a new coat of paint. And then we'll see where it goes from there. But this has been a blast, and I appreciate you guys coming out and playing with us.
Absolutely. Thank you all. See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
All right.